So our next speaker is dedicated to helping those who don't have a home belong. Claire Green has been volunteering with Crisis, the national charity for homeless people, for the last 2 years. And she knows the difference that all of us can make to those who need it the most, to help them belong. So this is a chance for you to find out what you can do to help. So let's hear it for Claire. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Why volunteer? We can all find a cause close to our heart, and Amy and Leanne reiterated that earlier, that once you find something that means a lot to you, it's easy to run with it. And I've been travelling up and down the country and seeing more and more homeless people everywhere I go. And in the last 5 years, homeless people, the numbers have doubled. And that's, we're finding that services are being cut as well in that time as well. Half the homeless services have been cut. On average, about 4,000 people a night are homeless, and last year 275,000 people sought assistance from their local councils about homelessness. So it's very much increasing all the time. And I wanted to do something about it, and I was got out of my bubble. And I would, rather than give people money, I'd sit and chat with them, find out more about them, give them my time, make them feel some way belong. And I started collecting all my toiletries from the hotels, putting them in sandwich bags, along with coffee vouchers, toothpaste, and I'd give them out on the way back to the station or the next time I was going up. And more conversations. I was finding that women were using socks as sanitary wear, so I started buying more sanitary stuff, making bags specifically for women sometimes. Met a girl, she had a job interview, she didn't have any makeup, so treated us as some makeup, and just generally found out what people on the street needed. So then I met someone who had been volunteering with Crisis for about 5 or 6 years, and I was hooked. Come November, I put my name down and did 3 days over Christmas. And I have to say it's probably very emotional but very fulfilling at the same time, and I had the bug of helping the organisation involved at Crisis. It's amazing, everyone is a volunteer, and in London last year it was 8,500 people at Christmas. It might seem a lot, but every one of them was needed. When I first went, I had a lot of perceptions of what homeless people were going to be like, drunk or on drugs, and I was just very much amazed about resilient characters and people who just had bad luck in relationships, in jobs, in health, and it just slipped through the net. And so after my 3 days, I thought, right, okay, more toiletries. Got all my friends involved. Every time they went to a hotel, bag all the toiletries up, grab the maid, empty her trolley. Every time I'd meet my friends, I'd have carrier bags full given to me, makeup. I've got friends who sell makeup for a living, and they would give me seconds or anything like that. So my 2 or 3 bags became 15, 20 bags. So it was taking longer to go to the hotel from the station every time. So the second year, I decided to volunteer for the whole 7 days, and it starts around about the 23rd of December for a week, and it's a hard slog, but it's very worthwhile. They have about 4,500 guests in that week, and they get lots of help. There's lots of advice available, from benefits to jobs to asylum, and accommodation. We send them to various centres throughout. We've got 10 centres in London and crisis up and down the country as well. So it's nice to be able to send people to have a bed for the week. We have befrienders who just sit and listen. Not everyone wants to talk, but those who do, there's people there for them. Meals, we did over 38,000 meals in that week. So it's a lot of hungry people got fed. They get health checks, dentists, opticians, therapy, massage, there's showers there, there's hair salon, they can have a hair washed, shaved, generally looked after. Also do IT, so they can get help applying for jobs or contacting family that maybe they're distanced from. So that's nice to see them get in touch again. There are dependency agencies, the AA and NA and CA, that are there for help as well. But there's also entertainment, bingo, karaoke, which is always very good. We have a lot of entertainers come in as well. So we had like opera, street dancing, the Albanian National Choir came in, and we're lucky this year we had Chris Martin from Coldplay and Ellie Goulding came in as well. So there's some amazing duets. Yeah, so like I said, there's about 8,500 volunteers. They like you to do 2 days, at least, really, because to get the full grasp of what's going on and to cope with the numbers. And this year we're trying to make people more aware about what life on the street is really like, because it's not a pleasant place, and the violence that some people get is extraordinary. You're nearly 20 times more likely to be a victim of crime on the street, and over 30% of the women have been sexually abused on the street. And yeah, so one volunteer this year spent 30 days on the street and did a blog about it and got everyone involved. And then he was spat on and abused. The conversations I've had with guests who have been set on fire or just generally urinated on, it's all not very nice. So the thing with crisis is we're not going to solve homelessness in a week, but we're just trying to make that week as pleasant as possible, and to make sure that they have contact, that they're cared for, and to make sure that they still feel like they belong. And so now I've tried to find local projects during the year as well, like the Albert Kennedy Trust, which cater for LGBT homeless. So there's lots of people out there who need help, whether it's a day or a couple of hours or whatever skill you have. There's opportunities there to go and help. And I'm just going to read a poem. This is from one of our guests called Kevin, who was fortunate enough to do a duet with Chris Martin. So I think I'll put the words up, but I will read it now. There we go. It's waking up in the morning, rolling up my bedding, knowing it'll be the same tomorrow. It's doing my head in. Having to hide it so it doesn't get nicked, abused or pissed on, yeah, it makes me sick. Make my way to the church for coffee and to get warm, to the streets to get looked on in derision and scorn, by those who don't realise or care about your plight, not knowing it could be even them tomorrow night. Fighting and struggling to get the next meal. Nobody can't understand the situation until they feel not having a nice warm bed and a meal on the table. You want to put an end to the stress, but you're not able. Just one vicious circle of trying to make ends meet, of trying to eat and get the numb feeling out of your feet. Put yourself there and you'll know that it's wrong. The invisible, all you want to do is belong.